All right, integrated math superstars, I see you. Hope you're having a great day. 2.4, this is the Desmos lab. You're probably watching this if you're preparing for a quiz or a test, or maybe you were absent. I would encourage that you have on hand your, oh geez, look at me, unprepared. I would suggest that you have your textbook on hand, flipped open specifically to 2.4. You'll notice that the problems I look at here are going to look awfully similar because, believe it or not, we really just copied and pasted from this packet into Desmos. So I would start here if you're working on this at home or you were absent. The goal here is comparing growth of linear and exponential models. If you need a refresher on what that's all about, we said that when we're talking linear, this is similar to in module 1 when we were dealing with arithmetic sequences. Exponential is similar to when we were dealing with geometric sequences. Arithmetic or linear means that it can be graphed in a straight line, like so. Occasionally it's in y equals mx plus b form. If it's geometric, it has more of an arch, like that. And it is usually written as a times b to the x power. So notice this is a straight line, hence linear. Exponential has more of an arc shape when it's graphed out. And we'll see what's going on with the business. All right, sound good? You ready for this? Calcurama had a net income of $5 million. Ooh, dealing with money. So $5 million in 2010, while a small competing company, ComputerFest, oh, sorry, we're talking about two different brands here. So there's ComputerFest, had a net income of $2 million. So this is dealing with ComputerFest over here. And over here, this table is talking about Calcurama. We eventually see the management of Calcurama develops a business plan for future growth that projects an increase in net income, so the total income, of 0.5 million per year, while the management of ComputerFest develops a plan aimed at increasing its net income by 15% per year. So I'm gonna color coordinate to the best of my abilities. I think that this is a strong problem-solving tool, especially when you're dealing with words. So everything Calcurama related, I'm gonna highlight in green. Calcurama. So this is claiming Calcurama is gonna increase by 0.5 million per year, whereas ComputerFest is increasing its net income by 15% per year. We're eventually making a table, a graph, and equations for how that's going over time. Sound good? Did you highlight everything that I did? I think that's a really big part. Hope you did. All right, let's get into it. So for this table, I know that Calcurama is just going to be increasing by 0.5 every year. So originally 5, now goes to 0.5 additional million per year. 5.5 plus 0.5 is 6. 6.5 going to 7, 7.5. I could keep that momentum going, but it's okay for now. I know that over here for ComputerFest, it's increasing at a net income of I don't want to say point just yet. I know it's increasing by it's like 15% every year. So it's taking whatever this is, and what would this be multiplying by since this is increasing with percentages? Well, anytime it's increasing, we want to acknowledge the 100%, and then we want to acknowledge the additional amount. So really, every year, this is multiplying by 115%, but we'll call it 1.15. And that's a really big part, is because we want to show this growth over time, and we want to make sure that the percentage is correct. So on my calculator, I'm going to take this further. 2 times 1.15 is 2.3. Look at me. If we take that further, multiplying again by 1.15, 2.645, take it further, times, again, 1.15, 3.04175. And again, I'm just getting this number because I keep multiplying with 1.15. Eventually 3.498. Okay, so it's going up. Daft Punk, one more time, 4022. No, let's call it 4.023. All right, interesting. We only see so much from these tables, but let's see what else is asked of us. So we got the tables. We could graph this out. This one's starting at 5 and just keeps going up by 0.5 every year. So the next year is just 0.5. Add that again. I have enough to make a straight line, so I'm just going to do that. And that should be zooming along. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. But what about for Computafest? That's going a little bit differently. So a year 0, it's starting with 2. And then it's going to 2.3, which is a little bit more. So like here. And then it's going to 2.645, a little bit closer to 3. 3.04, now hopping over the 3, 3.498, so kind of smack dab. I don't really like that one. Okay, so we'll put that there. Sorry, technology, you know how it is. Okay. Come on, let's do this. All right, 3.49-ish is like in the middle or so. And then 4.023. All right. And so we see that this should be going like this. It should be, at least, unless there's a recession or something else, but it should be going like that. And over here, I'll draw the arrow so that you see it keeps going. As far as the equation that's based off of this, well, for Calcurama, I'm going to write this with my starting point of 5. I kept adding 0.5, and that depended on our year, which I'm denoting as X. I don't think they use it as N, so that's okay. Okay, and then I'll put that equal to f of X, which makes sense because again, we're starting at 5 and we keep adding 0.5X depending on X. All right, does that make sense? Whereas for Calcurama, goofy name, it's starting with 2, and then what do we keep multiplying that by? Hopefully you're saying 1.15, and we're doing this X number of times. That's our function there. Okay, interesting. Let's see what else is going to be asked of us. How are the representations for the net income of the two companies similar? We can show them in a graph, table, equation, and even describe them in words. How do they differ? The first one was linear. Because why? Why do you think that was linear for the first one I drew on the left? Hopefully you're saying because it was a straight line. And then what do you think about Calcurama? Is it Calcurama? Yeah. Sorry, Computafest. What do you think about Computafest? You're saying Computafest is exponential because it is creating an arc. And also because Calcurama's expression was linear y equals mx plus b form. And Computafest was definitely a times b to the x power. What relationships are highlighted in each representation? Definitely measuring time, and then the number of people or money. Was it people or money? Yeah, money. So this is really measuring time versus money. We're also seeing linear versus exponential. Because ideally, if we're competitive with these businesses, one might be moving quicker than the other, and we want to kind of see why that is. If both companies were able to meet, which company would you choose to invest in? Well, I don't know. Calcurama was linear, which I like, and that number's easy to add up. But ComputerFest kind of looked as if it was running wild. I don't know. What would you pick? I don't know. When, if ever, would your projections suggest that the two companies have the same net income? Well, that's interesting because one's starting at 2 and the other's starting at 5. So I don't know. What do we think? Well, let's try to graph these out because we're allowed to, right? That's still legal. We can do that. So our one equation was 5 plus 0.5x. And then, of course, let's assume we're talking millions here for the y-axis. So let me actually change that. And then this is the year. Let's have this go from 0 to 10. Let's have this as the 2 times 1.15 to the x power. All right. So when do you think that these are going to be the same amount of money? Is it at year 0? Probably not, because remember, one was starting at 2, one was starting at 5. Where do you think that's going to be? Hopefully you're saying right here, because as these are graphed out, we see that at some point they're going to intersect, which in this case is 12.29. And what's being measured here again? 12.29 what? You're saying years. How did we find this? We graphed it. We could have kept the table going, but that would have been a lot of, it's manageable, but I don't know. Do you really want to keep computing like that? I'd rather let graphing help me out. Will they have the same net income again? I don't know. What do you think? No, probably not. Blue's going to keep soaring up. So the exponential one in this case is crushing it. We kind of have to wait 12 years for it to work, but hopefully you're saying, no, they won't have the same income again. They just intersect at one point. The companies just intersect at one point when the X values are positive. Because we can't go back in time, right? I mean, look at this thing. They do intersect way back here, but I don't know. Do you care about 8 years in the history ago before the brand even starts? It doesn't even make sense. So it's only going to happen one time. Okay. What else? I think that's it. So now knowing this, if this was me as a student, at first I probably would have said Calcurama because I know those numbers, but now that I've seen the graph, ComputerFest is the move. It's exponential, it's moving quicker. Even though the starting values are different, ComputerFest goes exponentially. ComputerFest goes harder. Calcurama is just an amateur, just adding up the 0.5. ComputerFest is being a real G, multiplying its money by 1.15, depending on the number of years. All right, that's it. That's all I got. I'm crushing it. I'm good on my own. Explain my thinking. I think I know what I'm doing. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, reach out. Thanks for watching.